Thank you so much, Dr. McCurdy. It is a pleasure to be here in the heart of the 12th Senate District. This is a very important message for us to deliver on behalf of all Ohioans, but not just Ohioans, all Americans. The national debt, which you see on the clock behind me, has now surpassed $17 trillion. It was just over $16 trillion when SJR 5 was first introduced. Each taxpayer's share of the debt is approximately $150,000 today. The United States debt is more than all the debt by the nations of Europe combined. The interest on the debt for this year alone, and these are at very small interest rates, will add up to approximately $400 billion by the end of next month. Think of what happens when the interest rates go back to historical levels. It's estimated that the debt will surpass $25 trillion within 8 years from now. Italy, Germany, Australia, Spain have all added balanced budget amendments to their constitutions in the last 5 years. Polls consistently show that more than 2/3 of Americans want a balanced budget amendment in our federal constitution. 49 of the 50 states are required by their state constitutions to balance their budgets. Ohio is now, with this resolution, the 20th state to call for a balanced budget amendment. But SJR 5 does more than just call for a balanced budget amendment. It says to Congress, if you're not going to do the responsible thing, you're not going to pass a balanced budget amendment according to the powers set forth in the Constitution, we as the states are going to use our power to encourage you to do the right thing by calling a limited constitutional convention for the purpose of setting forth a balanced budget amendment from the states. Now remember, after a balanced budget amendment is either passed by Congress or comes out of a constitutional convention, it then needs to go back to the states for approval. That is what many of us believe will be the check and the balance on making sure whatever's passed is reasonable. But to me, this is more than just calling Congress to do the right thing. It's about my son, Adam, who's 8, and my daughter, Brooke, who's 6, and whether it is moral and right for us to pass on to our children and to our grandchildren a debt which is rapidly approaching numbers that is not only unsustainable, but will alter their standard of living in their lifetimes. That's what this issue is all about for us, and that's why the Senate took action, along with my good friends in the House, who you're going to hear from in just a minute. I also want to thank Congressman Stivers for coming and meeting with me as this process was unfolding and the development of this constitutional resolution calling for this balanced budget. With his leadership and Matt Huffman's leadership, who you're going to hear from in a minute, we dusted off something that I had suggested a number of years ago and brought it forth in a fashion that got the results that we're on today. Matt's going to talk a little bit more about our challenge to get other states to sign on, but this is the start of a process which will yield, I believe, good things for our children and grandchildren's futures. With that, it is my honor to ask Speaker Batchelder